Want to learn a 4-step process that will help you in your next interview? Watch this video and I will walk you through the process. And if you found value in this video, please hit the subscribe button. And more importantly, share this video with anyone you think would benefit from this information. Hello, my name is Christopher Houston, and today I want to talk to you about the interview process. In an interview, if you get asked this question, tell me about yourself. Always stick to your work background. When giving your work background, try to match your background positions to what the job is asking for. Don't take more than a minute and prepare your delivery. At the end of this video, I will give you an example of how I would answer the question, tell me about yourself, how I would answer it personally. I have been the interviewer and the interviewee in quite a few interviews. This video will focus on helping you as the interviewee. Since retiring from the military, I have had several positions, actually 10 positions in the last 14 years. Positions in education, government contracting, the gaming industry, and the federal government. One of the things that helped me land these positions was the 4-step process I'm going to teach you in this video. The 4 steps are situation, action, outcome, impact. I'm going to explain each step. In the explanation of each step, I'm going to give an example of an answer I used in an actual interview. Let's talk about the first step, situation. The first step in answering an interview question is to answer with a story. I like this quote I heard by J.K. Rowling. She's the author of the Harry Potter books. And she said, "No story lives unless someone wants to listen." Think about it. When you're in an interview, you have a small group of people giving you their undivided attention. They want to listen. They want to hear a good story. All good stories have a protagonist, a villain, and a happy ending. The protagonist or hero in the story is always you. The villain in the story is the broken process, project, or situation that you fixed. The happy ending is the final outcome. Now you are probably thinking, how do I know what story to prepare when I don't know what questions they're going to ask? And that's a great question. Here's the answer. You prepare approximately 8 to 10 stories of your accomplishments in advance. When creating your 8 to 10 stories, use these topics. A topic on conflict, multitasking, or what I would call prioritizing and executing, leading a project, leading a team member or supporting a team, difficult situations, setting and achieving goals, supervise through a difficult situation. Use these as your headings. And put these words in front of the topics. Tell me about a time. Let me give you an example. Tell me about a time when you had to deal with conflict at work. Tell me about a time when you had to multitask. Don't just go through the stories in your head. Type them or write them down. Once you have the stories written down, frame them as answers to the questions, just like I just explained. And frame them in situation, action, outcome, impact. Now here's how I would answer the question. Tell me about a time when you had to solve a difficult challenge or problem at work. When I was working as an administrative officer, my boss and I both got our positions at the same time. One of the biggest frustrations was the current document routing process. It was a paper process where the documents being routed for the director's signature were routed in little blue folders. A routing sheet was placed on the folder and individuals would initial after they reviewed the contents and hand carry it to the next person. Needless to say, folders were getting lost, which required the initiator to restart the process. Sometimes folders would sit on individuals' desks for an extended period of time. Understand that most of, or not all of these documents that required the signature by the director were time sensitive. My boss asked me to find a solution to this challenge. Now, I'm sure everyone who has ever had to route documents in an office setting can relate to this challenge. And in my interview, the individuals, I'm sure they could relate. I outlined the villain, which was the document routing process. If you're thinking that my boss was the villain in this story, that's incorrect. It was the process that was the villain. State the situation in 1 minute or less. Brevity is key. Being brief goes a long way in an interview. The next phase is action. What action did you take? The interviewers don't want to know what your boss did or what your coworkers did. They want to know what you did. This is what I said in my interview. I knew this was going to be a difficult task because the staff was used to this process, and change in an organization is very difficult. I analyzed and discovered the why behind the paper process. I made sure I understood all aspects of the current process. I ascertained that one of the main reasons that the process was still in paper format was because of the sensitivity of the documents in the folder. No one could find a way electronically to protect the documents. Next, I spoke to the main players, the assistant directors, the directors, and most importantly, the director's executive assistant. I got buy-in from all of senior leadership to pilot a new process. After that, I gathered the staff and the individuals that normally initiated the blue folders. I asked for input from the staff, and I developed an electronic routing system that assured only the initiator and the authorized personnel had access to the document while it was being routed. The process started with the initiator scanning in the document and naming the document in a way that there was zero chance that the document would get lost. The process also had an option to see exactly who was waiting to approve the document. That way we could call that person and remind them to move the document along. The process I developed was in Microsoft SharePoint. SharePoint was already provided, so there was no cost associated with this new procedure. Next, I set a go live date and went live with the process. Of course, we encountered a few challenges when the first couple of documents were being routed. However, those challenges were immediately reconciled and we moved forward. Describing the action section should take 2 minutes or less. Be brief and to the point. Don't tell a story inside of a story, meaning don't go off on a tangent when you think of something and add to the story. Just stick to your script and what you've written down. Now, we are only halfway there, and I haven't even hit you with the last two parts. I haven't shown you that I'm the hero in this story. Now the outcome. This is you being the hero. Common sense says you will pick a story with a positive outcome, but like my mom and dad would always say, common sense is not always common. So, always pick a story with a positive outcome or happy ending. Now, here is what I said in my interview. The system that I created assured that documents were never lost, sensitivity of the documents were secured, and two unintended consequences was the executive assistant had an electronic file of all the documents that were signed by the director, and the organization was primed for implementation of other electronic processes. This was the first step in changing the mindset of the culture of the organization from paper to paperless. See, that's the outcome, and that's short, it's to the point, and the interviewers, hopefully they can relate to what you're talking about. Lastly is impact. This is where you become a superhero and you get issued theme music. You can hear my theme music playing in this video background right now. If you don't have a big impact, that's okay. You can stop at outcome and that's fine. You can go situation, action, outcome. There is nothing wrong with that. Just work hard to have an impact in your present position, and you can use that in your next interview. Because according to a January 2018 report from the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, the average person changes jobs 10 to 15 times during his or her career. Many workers spend 5 years or less in every job. When you are thinking of impact, think about how big was the impact? How many departments did it touch? What changed? Here's my impact. Here's what I said. It was easier to route all the documents throughout the organization, not just documents that were in the blue folders. Even from a geographically separated office that was 400 miles away, we could still route documents easily. With the momentum that was generated from the success of this process, there were over 20 other paperless processes created. We got audited by the Headquarters Records Management Group and received an outstanding on our audit. After our audit, the inspection team routinely referred other divisions to us for advice on how to create paperless electronic processes. I left the organization because I got promoted. They gave me 2 going away gatherings, and I was known for turning paper processes into electronic processes known as trackers. It's funny, one of my parting gifts was a roll of toilet paper that read, "The one thing that you can't take paperless." Now, that's how I answered a question in situation, action, outcome, and impact. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to give you an example of how I would answer the question, "Tell me a little bit about yourself." My name is Christopher Houston, and my background is that of a retired Air Force veteran. I spent 20 years in the electronics and computer fields. While I was full-time in the military, I completed 2 associate's degrees in electronics and computer systems. I completed a bachelor's degree in business and information systems and a master's degree in information systems technology management. After retiring, I had positions such as corporate IT manager for 2 separate gaming companies, senior systems administrator for 2 large defense contractors. I've taught IT and project management part-time at 2 colleges. I've had 4 federal positions overseeing HR, finance, IT, communication centers, and data analysis. Those federal positions supported 1,200 to 1,700 people, and my staff was approximately 30 to 45 people. Oh yeah, while working those positions, I found time to complete a master's degree in project management and completed an MBA. I've been married to my beautiful wife, Diana, for 19 years. I have 3 children, Chris Jr., Daryl, and Kiana. That's the way I would answer the question, "Tell me a little bit about yourself." If you found value in this video, please hit the subscribe button and the like button. And more importantly, share this video with anyone you think would benefit from this information. My name is Christopher Houston. Thank you very much. Good night and God bless.